Hi, Kiki.
I know her.
Hello, and welcome to our episode. This is the first episode of a series of episodes that we are gonna play in our YouTube channel in the coming weeks. And I just wanna first start with the acknowledgement of country, and then I will welcome Kiki. I acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which I and Kiki live and work, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and I pay my respect to their elder past and emerging. Thank you so much for joining us, Kiki. You're the first. I'm
Thank you.
sharing with you everything now.
Yay!
Exciting. Just a quick introduction about Kiki. She worked and studied in various fields, and we are gonna know from her now more details about that because that's a lot. So I'm gonna give her the introduction to herself. Kiki, would you introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Yeah, of course. Thank you for inviting me on. I'm very grateful and happy to be here. So, as Noha said, my name's Kiki. I've studied a lot of random things to get to this art therapy kind of world. And I've worked in a lot of different areas, I suppose, as an art therapist, which includes my placement experience too. So I guess I started studying creative writing and screen studies as my undergrad, which came under the umbrella of a Bachelor of Arts. And then with that, I had one subject in there that was about comics, like one subject out of the whole creative writing degree. And it was almost like a light bulb went off in my brain. And I said, yeah, this is what I want to do. I love this. Like, I'm very, very interested and passionate about this art form. And I kind of had this idea that I wanted to create like documentary films and comics about the world, and almost like creative nonfiction. And so I went and studied an international relations course or a master's, but I didn't complete it. So it turned into a grad certificate. But because I realized very quickly I didn't really want to work in politics, but I was very interested in politics. And then from
Interesting.
there, yeah, really interesting. I know, but it was, I'm very grateful for that learning that has greatly, I guess, supported me throughout my life and how I interact with clients, and how I value and kind of take on a social justice lens to my practice. And from there, I then went and did teaching,
Wow.
which, yeah, it's a lot. My extent is very
Certainly.
big.
And you're
But
still young, Kiki.
I did love teaching, but I think I really started at the time to realize I didn't really want to assess kids, but I loved working with kids. And so I went on and discovered, with the help of a friend, art therapy, and I've kind of now kind of molded all those loves together. And I'm currently working at a family violence service, supporting women and children who have experienced family violence. And yeah, I'm really grateful to be here.
What a journey. Oh, wow.
Yeah, big one.
Yeah, I believe all what you said from in the previous experiences added to your identity as an art therapist now. Yeah.
Completely. Yeah. And I think most of the art therapists you'll probably talk to and, that you meet, they all come from really different backgrounds. And it's almost like a bit of I guess we're all a little bit of mosaics in ourselves in like where we've studied and, yeah, the history that we've had up until the point of art therapy.
Yeah. Oh, wow. What a great journey. Thank you so much for the introduction and introducing yourself in that way, Kiki. We do appreciate your presence with us, and I know that this is your off day, and you should be relaxing now, not talking about work.
No, this is great. This is a nice way to spend it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, great. Thanks for that. So, would you like to walk us through a session and before we go to that, I was wondering about your background. Do you want to talk about your family of
Oh
origin?
yeah, like my origin story. Yeah, of course. So I I'm born in Australia. I'm born in Melbourne. But my dad was born in Greece, in the Saloniki, and my mum she's Greek as well, but she was born in Melbourne, but her parents were born over in Greece as well, but like down the southern part of
Yeah.
Greece, in a town called Koroni and Gabria.
Oh, cool.
Uh, and yeah,
And how do
I
you know about
feel,
all this? Like, oh, well,
pardon?
you know about this, like you know about your history and your grandparents, where were they born?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I'm very passionate and interested in my family story. I think when your family is almost like broken across continents, well, in my case, I really find this like deep longing to kind of connect with history and connect where our family are from, and the rituals that we have and why we have them.
Oh,
And it's also I'm also studying kind of my family history for a graphic novel that I'm eventually going to write, which I've been planning this for a very long time.
wow,
Um,
that's interesting.
yeah, so
Thanks for
that's
sharing.
probably right. Yeah, that's okay.
We look forward to see it like in real life.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah. You will do it. You're gonna get it done. Thank you so much. So yeah, before we go to the art therapy session, do you have anything to prepare before the session? Do you do any other beside the preparation? Do you do any
Mm,
activities to prepare for the session? Do you do mindfulness?
mm.
Do you do check-in before the
Yeah, so do you mean with a client or just with
before
myself?
or yeah before if you are
Yeah,
going to prepare
before.
yourself or when you
Yeah, yeah.
leave the session? So
Yeah, for sure. I have a lot of things that I do. Normally, like, I'll make a cup of tea, which
yeah.
I've done today. Like, I think having a nice mug of tea near you is really nice. Either before a session or as you're just walking into a session.
Mm,
It's kind of like a little ritual, I think, to like nurture yourself and also just ground to the task at hand. I use comics as like reflective tools. So normally at my workplace or my current workplace, there's not a lot of time, I guess, in the day to do your reflective practice, which I think a lot of art therapists would probably feel. So you're usually like running around in between seeing clients, making case notes, doing your research, preparing. But I'm using comics as a way to just kind of regulate myself in between sessions, but also to remember like what happened in a session for myself, because it's hard when you get to the end of the day and you're like, oh my goodness, what happened? And if I don't have time to do that during the day, I'll always make sure to do it at the end of the day.
mm,
Um, Even if it's just like one, square, a comic cell,
mm.
just put it in the cell, let the borders kind of contain that image and that experience and shut the book on it. So I'm very big on journaling and rituals.
Good on
Mm.
you. That's great.
Mm.
Oh wow. So I'm glad that I know that you're doing self-care. So you're taking care of yourself before and after the sessions. That's
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah, we need to remind
very
our
important.
therapists that they are watching us, or creative therapists that they are watching us
Mm.
to take care of themselves as well. So what else do you do in the session? Like if you can walk us
Mm.
through 5 minutes or so
Yeah.
about your session, how do you do it?
Yeah, they look really different. Everyone looks really, really different. I always at the beginning, like I'll make sure the room or the space is set up,
Mm,
and I'll always have some form of check-in
mm,
like activity planned. And I might have a loose plan of how I want maybe, or not how I want the session to go, but what I'm intending to bring to the client. But I don't get upset if they don't want to go in that direction. So, like, say for example, I use on my background, of creative writing a lot. So I'll make like reflective poems, which a supervisor also from La Trobe actually inspired me with. Where in the session, like I'll get them to check in for a moment. Maybe I'll put down some cards of nature, and ask them, is there one that you're feeling today? Is there a card that you're drawn to? Let them pick it up, let them kind of sit with the image and take a breath with them,
yeah.
just orient to the space, like welcome, it's lovely to have you here. really just slow it down a little bit, because I know I'm a very fast talker. My brain moves very quickly. So that's also an opportunity for me to calm down and just ground back into the space. And then usually based off what they've chosen in their check-in, we might make art
Mm.
about that, or we might make art reflecting on how they're feeling today, and then we'll move into some talking. Or sometimes it's the other way around and people want to talk and they don't want to make art, but
Yeah.
I'll always kind of like have the art there and I might start using it, and then they'll kind of, start to be curious. But
Mm.
as they're talking to me, I'll always have a notepad where I write down a word or a phrase that they've said, and then at the end, I'll read it back like a poem back to
Mm.
them.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, and I think that's a really beautiful way to kind of show them that I'm hearing them, and that, even their words are art, like what they're creating. They might not feel like they're an artist and they might not feel like they have the tools to make art, but I'm not necessarily making a poem for them. I'm just using the words that they've said and the phrases they've said to curate or arrange a poem, but it's their words.
Oh, what a
So,
talent. Oh, wow.
yeah, it's really beautiful, actually. I had a supervisor, as I said, from La Trobe do that with me in our supervision. And I just, it was a beautiful practice. And I just really, I've, obviously I pick and choose the clients I do it with, because it's not, if I'm working with really little kids, I need my two hands. I can't really like
Yeah.
write the poems, but I'll always mirror back their words back to them. Like, oh, you described this as this, like, wow, because I think it's really important just to mirror back what a person's bringing you on the day.
Yeah.
Um,
And when they hear
yeah,
it from you, it's different than they say it. So when you repeat
yeah,
the words for them, they as you said, it's mirroring. Like they can
yeah,
see themselves
exactly.
in the mirror, or they can see the word in the mirror. Oh, wow. That's great. Is it
Yeah.
like the one model with you, Kiki, or do you do groups as well?
I do groups as well. So at the moment, I'm co-facilitating two groups at work. One of them is like at a women's refuge, so it's an open studio for women and children, which I really love. I love the open studio model, and community art therapy practice like that. And the other one, I co-facilitate a dyadic groups for kids between the ages of 4 to 6, I believe, or maybe a bit younger than that, actually, 3 to 5.
Oh,
Sorry. Yeah, and their parents or caregivers, or their mums or their caregiver. And so there's like 3 families within that. Um, yeah, I absolutely love groups. Like groups, I think, we normally have a bit of a different model of how that looks. Especially, the open studio, that's a bit more fluid and loose. We still provide a lot of containment in it, but it's never like we're not pushing clients to make art, and we're not pushing them to all make at the same time, or even like do an
structure.
activity. Yeah, exactly. Like we'll have structure in a way, but it's not as everything's always an invitation for clients. Like, sometimes the other week we had somebody come in and just cook like
Wow.
food from their home. Yeah. And it was really like quite beautiful to like sit there and just eat, as a community together. So yeah, they look really different, but there's still a form of check in and check out, even if it's just, how are you going today? Can I make you a cup of tea?
Yeah.
And, don't worry about cleaning up your mug. I've got that.
Oh,
Like, yeah.
so sweet. I sense that you
Mm.
love your job, Kiki.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. I love like what I'm doing. I feel very, like, I know I keep saying the word grateful, but I feel it. Like I feel really grateful where I am. And I'm very proud of myself for shifting into art therapy.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
And when like at the end, do you do check in again with the
check.
client? Yeah.
Yeah, at the like end of a session.
Yes. At the end, do you check?
Yeah, yeah, always like some sort of check out to
Yeah.
be like, okay, how are we feeling? Grounding back into the space.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Sorry, I meant check.
always, yeah, that's okay. Well, it's fine. Like it's not, I guess I work very playfully with people too.
Yeah.
So I always, try and hone in on their strengths at the end of a session.
Yeah.
And yeah, just keep things, I guess, grounded for them as they're leaving, is really important. And it's important for me to feel like, okay, I've prepared this person to leave the space.
Yeah. To
Yeah.
the outside world and to live
Yeah.
life again
Yeah.
without the triggering or something happen in the
Yeah.
session. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sounds great. You seem like you have already planned everything. Did you want to show us something in the link from the link?
Yes, yes. So I wanted to do a really quick comic
Oh,
exercise,
yeah,
because I think I will get my stuff sorted. I just want to explain one thing before I do, but
sure.
I think comics are really cool. And I want people to feel like they can use them in sessions with clients because you don't have to be a comic artist to do it.
Yeah.
I know they sound really scary,
Mm.
but and new and really unfamiliar to people. But I suppose I've got like two activities that maybe we can do together, Noha,
Oh,
to
great.
show how I use them with clients sometimes, like apart from using them in reflective practice.
Yeah.
Do you have some paper with you and a pen or?
I can grab right away. Do you want
Yes, yes.
I did click on the link. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, hold on to that link for a second.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Do
not
you want
yet.
to share your
Maybe
screen or not yet?
not yet. I've
Okay,
got one activity first. Yeah.
sure.
So maybe while Noha's getting her stuff sorted, I can explain maybe what we're going to do and what we're going to look at. So I think firstly, we're going to look at just stretching and doing some drawing warm-ups. Then we're going to explore kind of comic language really, really briefly. And then talk about and explore how stories, I guess, how we can use stories and comics to empower people to like reframe and rewrite stories that they might have in their life or they might have, fixed narratives about
Okay.
that don't feel like they can change. So the first thing I want you to do, Noha, or I'm going to invite you to do, is
Sure.
with your piece of paper. I've got a green, or it's kind of blue-green. I couldn't find a white piece of paper, but it doesn't matter. So this is just a warm-up.
Yes.
You're going to either fold it into 4 or you're going to draw like just a big cross in the middle so you have 4 boxes.
Yeah. Perfect.
I'm going to draw it. It doesn't matter if your lines are wobbly. That's the beauty of comics. They don't have to be perfect.
Oh, wow. I love it already.
Yeah, good.
Few lines.
Okay. Yeah, soon you'll be making comics. Okay. The first thing we're going to do, so I'm going to call out some prompts, some drawing prompts. They're going to be very easy, but I'm only going to give you, and I'm going to do it with you. I'm only going to give you 1 minute to
Okay.
draw in each box. Okay. So it's quick.
Okay.
It's going to go really quick. Let me get my timer actually, because if I
What do
count,
I draw? Anything?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'm going to say them out loud as we're doing it. So the first one in the first box, I want you to draw something that's in the room. It can be absolutely anything. So
Okay.
you've got 1 minute and go.
I'm done.
Maybe we can even speed it up. How about we do
That's okay.
15 seconds? I'm used to doing this with little kids, so they normally need a good minute, but I reckon we can speed this up. With adults, I do like to speed it up. Perfect. All right, hold on to that. Now,
Next.
I'm going to fix this timer and we are going to go 10 seconds, okay? I reckon we can do it. In the second box, we are going to draw something with our eyes closed. So maybe look at something in the room, remember it.
I will try.
Anchor yourself in your little square. Close your eyes and off we go.
Horrible. Can I fix it?
No,
That's so
I
fun.
know.
Not so bad. I
Not so. That's hilarious. Okay. The third box. I'm looking at my prompts here because I'm having too much fun. Okay, where you're going to draw something with your non-dominant hand. So whatever
Oh,
your hand you're
I
drawing with,
love
you got
it.
to stop it.
Yeah.
Yes.
What shall I draw?
Again,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
look in the room. Ready,
10
set,
seconds. Okay.
start. Stop.
No.
And the last one we're going to do is we're going to just not look at our page. So for 10 seconds, you're going to draw something and you're going to only look at the object, but you're
Okay.
not going to look down. Okay.
Mm.
Ready, set, go. Oh, okay. You ready? You want to share them with each other? Yeah.
Very embarrassing.
I'll share them.
Please start. Oh, wow. Those are amazing.
Pardon?
These are mine. Glasses, the one this is the one I'm closing my eye. And this is the chair. It's horrible.
I actually quite love that. Wow.
The non-dominant hand.
Yeah,
Better
wow.
than the
That's so
dominant
interesting.
one.
Which one did you enjoy the most?
Um, the non-dominant hand, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's one of my favorites too. But I
Wow.
get that's a really fun exercise to do with clients when they say I can't draw.
Yeah.
When they say that, that's normally the one I get them to do because I think, it just speaks for itself. The laughter that I was hearing and I was experiencing, it just brings a playfulness to what you're doing.
Did you
Um,
them criticizing their art or the artistic skills when they do that? Ah, see, it's horrible. I didn't do it. I can't draw.
yeah, I
Yeah.
have, but then I remind, people that art isn't really like there's no blueprint to art. Like things, they're not always meant to look or come out how we want them to. And sometimes that's
Yeah.
kind of where the gold is, where it doesn't come out when you think, you might have an idea in your head of like what an image needs to look like or why it needs to look like that to be perfect. But then I like exploring that idea with people and what is perfect and what's perfect to you and where did that belief system kind of build from. So
Oh,
it's a good one, I think, to break the ice with people, but also to explore, yeah, exactly that, like feelings around perfectionism or not being good enough as an artist.
and it's
Mm.
not math, like it's art.
Yeah, exactly. It's art.
Plus one equal two or something. Yeah. Oh, thank you so
Exactly.
much for the activity, Kiki. That was amazing. And I hope everyone enjoyed it as I did.
Yeah.
We didn't say at the beginning that we studied together.
Yes, we did. We should say that.
Yeah, we finished our
That's
master.
important.
We finished
That is
our master
important.
at La Trobe. So Kiki finished her master's, then studied the 100 things that she told us about.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, I should say at the moment, I'm studying synergetic play therapy, like that certificate.
Wow.
And I am really liking it. There are parts of it that I take from small things from everything and just mold it into my own practice.
Oh,
And there's definitely parts of that I'm drawn to in regards to like thinking about your nervous system when you're with another person.
yeah.
Yeah, which is very important.
Oh, wow.
Mm,
That's very important. I would love to hear more about it, of course. Maybe in another
mm.
episode, you can tell us, like, what did you learn when you finish? We can hope.
Yeah,
And
completely. Yeah.
uh,
I've got one other activity book like planned, but if we don't have time, that's totally okay as well.
I think, yeah, I think we are mindful of the session's time. We are still
Fine.
on the
Yeah,
end. So the
that's
end,
good. You're keeping us contained in our boundaries.
yeah, as we learn, baby.
Oh, I love that.
We have to repeat this. I'm joking.
My goodness.
That's so cool. No, I didn't want it to be very formal and it's just friendly chat.
Great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're not
good.
in these boundaries anymore. We're not very formal. We're not in the
Mm.
uni, like
Yeah, exactly. We can be a bit more creative, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, and make it easy
Mm.
for the clients, for the audience, for the art
Yeah.
therapist, whoever is watching us. So there would be clients watching or creative therapists as well. So
Mm.
thank you so much for your time, Kiki. Do you want to say anything at the end? Any advice for our clients or our therapists that they are watching?
Oh, that's a good one. Advice. Every time I think of the word advice, I have 100 things I want to say and I don't know what to say. But I guess be
Yeah.
gentle with yourself, and be curious. And don't feel like, I think this is something I needed to hear maybe, so I want to pass this on to anyone else.
Mm,
Um, regarding art therapists, like if you have a special skill or something that you've mastered or studied, really honed in, like comics,
mm,
um, don't feel the pressure to always use it, with your client. If it's not appropriate, it's okay. That might be something in your toolkit, but you also have 100 other things in your toolkit. So it's okay. Like you use whatever is comfortable for you in the moment, and what's, relevant to your client in the moment. And there will come a time when you will have an opportunity to use your craft in a way that you really want to use it, but just, yeah, let go of that pressure of yourself to do things exactly how you want. Because like we said,
yeah.
there's
Perfect.
beauty in not getting things perfect.
Yeah,
Mm.
perfect example, actually. Thank you so much, Kiki. I had a question in mind before, but if you won't mind asking it at the end, answering.
Mm.
So, did you feel like because you are the only comic art therapist that I ever seen, like, is this something you did you met anyone like before that they are?
No, but I know a lot of
Yes.
comic artists who
Yeah.
use comics for their own well-being. Like there's a whole subfield of comics called graphic medicine. And that's why, I got really interested in graphic medicine before I studied art therapy. I was reading a lot of graphic medicine books, and graphic medicine, as the term just means, like the comics, people who are making comics about illnesses or medical kind of conditions.
Yeah.
So it's really an interesting subgenre. And yeah, I'm not really, I feel like a lot of comics and diary comics, they lend themselves to therapy or like therapeutic practice. So I feel like so empowered to like bridge those gaps, I guess, and bring the literature or the arts therapy evidence-based literature
Yeah.
to explain why all these people are using comics and sequential storytelling, which is like images in a sequence, why they're so calming for people and why people feel very empowered when they use them.
Wow.
Mm,
Thank you so much for your answer. I thought it's kind of unique to have this skill that it's not just common art that we are using and using all the materials all the time, abstract
mm,
or so. But yeah, most of us would come from the abstract or other types of art, like visual.
mm,
But yeah, the uniqueness of telling a story in a complex
mm.
way. Wow. Thank you so much, Kiki, for your time. Other art
Welcome.
therapists
Thank you.
from Egypt will be watching this, so I might try.
Whee!
Yeah, I might try to
Perfect.
add titles. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, please. Yeah, yeah. I talk very quickly, so please put them. Yeah.
Oh, no, it's just easier for them because in our countries we are more used to the count. Sorry, we are more used to the the American accent, and the
Yeah, oh, of course.
Australian might be hard for them to get. It's
Of
not
course.
like
Yeah.
good or bad. This is the one that they used to listen.
Yeah. Of
So
course. Yeah.
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 But you were
No, thank you,
slowly.
Noah.
You were I didn't understand everything, and I think they would.
Okay, good.
It's not very popular that people would speak English there as well. So
Yeah, okay.
Moment.
Yeah.
So give them the chance to
The
translate.
option. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. You're keeping things accessible for people.
trying.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah. Thank you.
for having the time on your morning to meet.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. It's
I look.
just such a pleasure.
Thank you. I look forward to another episode with you.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me back. Yeah.
Have a good day, Kiki. Bye.